Let's start with the first function of behavior, attention seeking. This happens when someone's actions are motivated by the desire to get noticed, whether it's from staff, peers, or even family. You might see behaviors like yelling, interrupting, making loud noises, or even throwing objects, all in an effort to get a reaction. Often, these individuals are feeling ignored, don't have positive communication skills, or simply don't know how to ask for the interaction they need. Our best approach? Catch the positive moments. Give praise and attention when the person is calm. And when those negative behaviors show up, minimize attention unless there's a safety concern. Let's keep going and look at the next function of behavior. Next, let's talk about the escape or avoidance function. This type of behavior is motivated by the desire to get away from or avoid something the person finds uncomfortable, stressful, or just plain undesirable. You might notice behaviors like refusing tasks, hiding, pretending to be sick, or even having a tantrum to avoid doing something. Why does this happen? Often, the task might feel too hard, overwhelming, or even unsafe. Sometimes, the person just feels like they have no control over what's happening. So, how can we help? By offering choices, breaking tasks into smaller steps, and allowing scheduled breaks. These small changes can make the situation feel less intimidating and give the person a greater sense of control. Alright, let's move on to the next function of behavior. Let's move on to the access to tangibles function. This type of behavior happens when someone wants something, like a toy, food, a favorite activity, or even a special privilege. You might notice behaviors like grabbing, yelling, crying, or even taking items without asking. Why does this happen? Sometimes the person doesn't know how to ask, or they don't want to wait. Other times, this behavior feels like the only way to get what they want. So, what can we do? We can teach individuals how to ask appropriately, set clear expectations, and use access to their favorite things as positive reinforcement when it makes sense. Let's keep going and explore the next function together. Now, let's move on to the sensory stimulation function. This type of behavior is driven by internal feelings, things like comfort, calm, or even enjoyment. Sometimes you'll hear it called automatic reinforcement. The key here is that the person isn't trying to get something from someone else, they're doing it because it feels good to them. You might recognize examples like rocking, hand flapping, humming, or spinning objects. Other times, it could be chewing, tapping, or even head banging. So, why does this happen? These behaviors help people regulate their emotions, meet their sensory needs, or simply cope when they're bored or overwhelmed. As staff, our role is to allow safe behaviors that meet those sensory needs. When a behavior isn't safe, we offer alternatives like fidgets, weighted blankets, or calming music. We avoid punishment because seeking sensory input isn't bad. Instead, we create environments that support these needs in healthy ways. Let's continue learning how to support individuals in the best way possible. Now let's talk about the control or power function. This type of behavior usually comes from a desire to feel in charge or to have some say in what's happening in their life. It's not about being difficult, it's about having a sense of control. You might notice behaviors like saying no often, arguing with staff, refusing to follow directions, or insisting that things be done their way. Why does this happen? Often, the person feels they don't have many choices in their day-to-day life. They might feel frustrated, overlooked, or like they have no control over what's happening around them. So how do we help? We give them meaningful choices throughout the day. We allow them to lead activities when it's safe to do so. We listen to their preferences and make sure they feel heard. And whenever possible, we build in opportunities for them to make decisions and practice independence. When we offer choice and control, we reduce power struggles and help individuals feel respected and empowered. Before we wrap up, let's talk about the importance of understanding behavior support terminology. When we support individuals with challenging behaviors, having a shared language helps us work more effectively as a team. These key concepts keep us aligned and focused on best practices. First, team discussion. Open communication with your team helps ensure everyone is on the same page and working together towards the same goals. Next, precise documentation. The more accurate and detailed we are in documenting observations, the better we understand what's working and what needs adjustment. Then we have consistent approach. Using consistent, evidence-based strategies across all shifts helps create stability for the individuals we support. And finally, expert collaboration. When needed, we can turn to specialists for guidance. Working together with experts helps us achieve better outcomes and improve the quality of care. Remember, clear communication and consistency aren't just best practices, they're how we create positive, lasting change. Let's take a closer look at proactive strategies. These are the actions we take before a behavior ever happens. The goal is prevention, not reaction. Why do we use them? Because they help create an environment and routine that truly supports the person's needs. When we do this well, we naturally reduce the chances of challenging behaviors happening in the first place. Here are some simple examples. Offering choices before someone gets upset. Keeping daily routines predictable. Providing breaks before things feel overwhelming. And using calm tones paired with positive reinforcement. The ultimate goal? To prevent behaviors by addressing triggers early and supporting people in ways that work best for them. Now let's talk about reactive strategies. These are the steps we take after a behavior has already started. The goal is to help everyone stay safe and to support the person in calming down as quickly as possible, without accidentally making the situation worse. Some simple examples include staying calm and using a soft, steady voice. Moving others to safety if needed. Giving the person space if that helps them. And using trained crisis management techniques only if required. Ultimately, reactive strategies are about managing the moment safely and reducing the risk of escalation. Let's take a moment to talk about interventions. Interventions are any plan or method we use to help change behavior. They can include proactive, reactive, and teaching strategies, all with the goal of supporting individuals. The purpose behind interventions is to reduce unsafe behaviors and teach new skills. This helps people meet their needs in safe, healthy ways. For example, we might teach someone how to ask for a break instead of yelling, or adjust how tasks are presented to prevent frustration. Ultimately, our goal is to help individuals learn safer, more effective ways to meet their needs, while also building their independence and skills. And remember, effective interventions focus on the reason behind the behavior, not just trying to stop it. We always want to focus on teaching skills, not simply eliminating behaviors. Now, let's talk about replacement strategies. When someone uses challenging behavior, our goal isn't just to stop the behavior, it's to teach a new, more positive one that meets the same need. Here's how we do it. Step 1. Identify the function of the behavior. We need to understand what the person is trying to achieve through their actions. Step 2. Choose an appropriate replacement. This means selecting a behavior that meets the same need but is safer and more socially appropriate. Step 3. Teach the new skill. This takes consistency and practice across all environments so the person knows what to do instead. Finally, Step 4. Reinforce success. Whenever the person uses the new, positive behavior, we provide immediate and positive feedback to encourage it. Remember, this isn't just about removing behaviors. It's about giving individuals better tools to get their needs met in a safe, healthy way. Let's talk about understanding escalation and de-escalation. As direct care staff, recognizing the early signs of escalation and knowing how to respond is a critical part of keeping everyone safe and supported. These skills help you catch early warning signs before behaviors become dangerous. They guide you to intervene with the right strategies at the right time, preventing small problems from growing into bigger ones. They also help you maintain trust and dignity with the individuals you support, while creating a safer environment for everyone involved. In this next section, we'll explore how to strengthen these skills and apply them in real-life situations. Escalation is a process. It often starts small but can grow over time if early signs are missed. Some of the earliest signs include changes in body language, like tensing up, pacing, or fidgeting. You might also notice vocal cues, things like a raised voice, fast talking, or a sharper tone. Verbal refusal is another sign, statements like leave me alone or stop talking to me. And finally, non-compliance, when someone ignores directions or refuses to participate in activities. Recognizing these early signs of escalation gives us the opportunity to step in early, help the person regain control, and prevent things from becoming unsafe. Here are 4 key de-escalation techniques to keep in mind. First, stay calm. Use a soft, steady tone of voice and keep your body language relaxed and non-threatening. Your calm energy helps the other person find theirs. Next, create space. Sometimes distance matters. Step back if needed, remove distractions, and move to a quieter space when possible. Third, listen actively. Show you're really listening, without judgment. Validate the person's feelings, even if you don't agree. This isn't the time to argue or correct. And finally, offer choices. Provide small, achievable options to help the person feel more in control. Redirection to calming activities can also help. These techniques help prevent situations from escalating further, protect everyone's safety, and strengthen trust between staff and those we support. This behavior escalation training tool is designed to help you recognize and respond to early signs of escalation before situations become unsafe. Through real-life scenarios, you'll learn to identify common triggers, recognize the warning signs of escalation, and understand how behaviors can intensify over time. Most importantly, you'll discover opportunities for early intervention when it matters most. Each scenario highlights gradual escalation behaviors, subtle cues before things escalate, and context clues to help you understand the function behind the behavior. As you go through these examples, focus on identifying 3 key things: the function of the behavior, early warning signs, and where staff could have effectively stepped in to provide support. Here's how everything you've learned comes together in behavior support. First, we identify the function. We ask why the behavior is happening by observing patterns and triggers. Next, we use proactive strategies to reduce triggers and support the person before behaviors occur. We also teach replacements by helping the person learn more appropriate ways to meet their needs. Recognize escalation early by watching for warning signs and step in with calm, supportive interventions before things escalate further. When behaviors do happen, we de-escalate effectively using strategies that help the person regain control safely. Finally, we document and adjust, reviewing what works and refining our approach over time. Remember, behavior support isn't about controlling people. It's about understanding their needs, teaching meaningful skills, and creating environments where everyone has the opportunity to thrive.